Welcome back to Hustle to Holdings, where we explore how people turn hustle into long-term ownership. Today's guest is a real estate investor who brings clarity, execution, and momentum into everything she does. One of her standout projects was her first Airbnb, Burr Style Investments, a fast-moving renovation that came together through strong planning, team coordination, and follow-through. And around that same time, she also stepped into hotel investing. She expanded her vision into larger scale hospitality and long term ownership, which is very inspirational. What I respect most about her approach is the way that she leads with discipline, communication, and long term thinking, qualities that make many women exceptionally strong in real estate. This episode is about execution, perspective, and growth through her individual journey. Nicole, welcome to Hustle to Holdings.
Oh my gosh, what a warm welcome. I'm like blushing over here. Geesh. I need to keep you in my corner and anytime I'm feeling down on myself, I'm gonna just ask you for a pep.
Yes, you're everything that I just said and more. Like, you have no idea how inspirational you are to me, and I know you will be to a lot of other women after they listen to your story.
Well, thank you. I'm so pumped to be here and dive into it.
So tell me a little bit about what you did before real estate and how you kind of got into it.
Yeah. So gosh, this goes all the way back to my childhood. I grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and 20 plus years ago, Scottsdale was quickly turning into what some people jokingly now call Snobsdale. So, with all due respect, people work hard there and they have a lot of money. And I grew up around that, but I grew up without any money. And when I was 7 years old, my parents started a business and put all of their money, time, energy into that, working 15-hour days. And essentially, I was kind of taken in by other families, and those kids, my friends, were getting everything that they wanted anytime they wanted. And I just didn't understand why my reality was so different. And I would come home to my family and be like, it's not fair. I don't understand. Why is my reality not their reality? And they taught me the difference between want and need at a very young age. So naturally, I just had to learn how to hustle through
Yep.
holding. And an entrepreneurial spirit kind of was birthed at that time. So I had to make my own money. It started with buying bulk candy at Costco and reselling that at school, then going to upscale consignment stores and then reselling True Religion jeans and designer goods that I bought for 20,
You're a
$30 on
smart little
eBay.
girl.
Yeah, it's I've always had that energy in me and I love it. I just love hustling. I love making my own money and um I don't know. I just have always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And but before I actually dived into real estate, I had a corporate job. I actually still have that corporate job to this day. I've been with my W-2
Oh.
company for over 10 years, which is good because I kind of have everything on autopilot at this point in time. And
Yeah, and honestly, people dog so much on W-2s, but they're actually really great for getting pre-approved. All of the properties that I have bought, I've had a W-2 because it's easier to get financing.
so much easier. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on for as long as I can. Another thing that was a perk of holding on to my W-2, aside from just the lending, is the ability to pull out a 401k loan. So on my last deal, I actually
Oh.
had done that. So I took out $50,000 from my 401k, and because I'm still employed, then they're taking basically, they're lowering my paycheck by $500 over the course of 5 years, and I'm just
Okay.
paying myself back, paying the money back into my 401k over that time.
Oh,
So that helped me. after my last deal. But anyways, we can get into that in at a later
That's
time.
awesome. No, you're definitely a smart cookie. I can relate being from Miami. I also grew up not understanding, like, for example, I would get the fake version of everything. So, the little Tamagotchis, do you remember those little things? I would get the fake
Yes.
version of Tamagotchi. Like, it would be like this big, and I would try to show it to my friends, and it'd be like, that's not the real thing. Or like Heelys. I'd be like, oh my God, why can't I just get the real thing? So I understand, but we also had to like work hard. I was selling like little purses too. I was buying them on eBay and then selling them off Amazon. So you had to just be creative when it came to making money. So I guess a lot of the hustle, like we wanted it to be for something that's bigger and that could generate us income. Like I guess that's the way that I thought of it. So when did that shift into like, let me buy a property?
Oh gosh, uh, just to kind of like echo on that too, like I watched how much my parents worked and how hard they struggled, and I was like, I do not want that to be my
Yep.
reality like I'm an adult. And I want to be present. Like God bless my parents. Like I love them to death, but like
But you don't
I
want to
want
be
when
that
I'm a
that
parent,
yeah.
yeah, when I'm a parent, like I want to have the flexibility to be as present as I can and not miss the big moments in their life. So like when I was looking at all of the avenues in which I could go, uh real estate was the one that stood out. And I was like, like you can get passive income that way. And I got in the game about 6 years ago, and like it's just the fastest path in my opinion to financial freedom, to live a life on your terms and not like anyone else's.
I love how you're saying like because I say this too. I'm like, yeah, it's so easy. Like I want something that I can get easy wealth, and then here we are, like fucking, I'm holding a hammer, throwing, putting up drywall, putting up cookie. Like
Oh my
it's
gosh.
easier for wealth, but we came into it like expecting it to be a little bit easier than it truly was. But the end like result is worth it. I completely agree with you there.
Yeah, you just have to get started and you learn along the way. Like there's so many things that like I wish I knew, but if I didn't just like rip the band-aid off and dive into it, I would have never learned. And now I can teach people from my mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, that's girl, that's what I've been we've been through that.
Yes.
And some people just want even myself, like, we just want to, like, "You know what? It's fine. I'll learn it myself," like, and then you're like, "I should have listened to my mentor." Um, Tell me about your first deal then.
Yeah. So my first deal and kind of like to go into mentorship is kind of interesting.
Okay.
So my first deal actually like I wasn't even thinking about house hacking or like building wealth through real estate at that time. So I had gone to California for my W-2 job, and after like living for like 4 or 5 years there, very much below my means and saving as much as I could, like working my tail end off. The first one in the office, last one out, like I started asking myself like the big picture questions, like, is this where I want to be long term? Where do I want to get into real estate? Where would I maybe want to, start a family and settle down, plant some roots? And after like looking just alone at my tax bill in California, I was like, okay, like I don't think no dig on anyone who's in California. I love California, but Colorado was always on my mind. I moved out there and then COVID hit. And my intention when moving out there was to buy a property, but it was so, so competitive at that time. I put in, I think, 10 offers on homes and got outbid by like all cash offers, waiving every
Oh,
contingency there
yes.
was. And, as my first home purchase, I wasn't really like, comfortable doing that. But anyway, I finally got under contract on my first home. It was, a flip, and
Oh.
yeah, it was like a recent remodel, 4 bed, 3 bath, like beautiful large backyard. It was like perfect. And I got under contract on my 27th birthday and locked in a 2.125 interest rate, which is
Let's
like
go! That's a great
free money.
birthday present. No, it
Great.
is. You're not
Yes.
refinancing that one. You didn't
Never.
refinance that
I'm
right.
holding on to that one for life. But I did, like I did get renters in there, so I technically was house hacking that one, and from the rental income, I was paying barely anything, towards the mortgage.
Right.
Everyone else was paying my mortgage for me, which was wonderful. And after closing on that deal, the investor who had flipped that house, he actually contacted me directly and was like, "Hey, do you want to step into my office and see how I find deals to fix and flip and like wholesale?" And I just like learned how to
What?
run the numbers. I learned everything from him at that time and then started getting obsessive over real estate. Like, okay, this is really fun. This is exciting. There's like real wealth that can be built here. So after learning from him, naturally, like I found bigger pockets and read every book, listened to every podcast, and then actually was mentored by somebody who has like a bit of a presence within bigger pockets for a bit. And then she really taught me the ins and outs of the STR game.
Oh,
So I didn't do any of my own deals at that time,
okay.
but I was sitting
Learning.
in his office and
Okay.
then getting deals under contract for him, and I
Oh,
would, like, get paid a portion of it. So we actually were putting offers in on properties in Florida and Georgia and then parts of Texas.
nice. And you were the ones making the offers? Well, must have been some great phone calls and some very upsetting ones too.
Yeah, I know, it was interesting, like, to learn the process and see how he went about it.
And then did you turn that first property into a short-term rental or you kept it as long-term?
Yep, I did turn it into a short-term rental, and it's currently being short-term rented to this day. Um, After that property, I purchased one in Phoenix, so I was, like,
Okay.
running the numbers, and it actually was a short-term rental prior, and it had, like, strong, occupancy, like, good average nightly rates, and like, I felt comfortable putting an offer in on that one because it was an Airbnb prior. So, like, the numbers already existed and were real, and I was like, "Okay, like, I can make some improvements here and there and make it even better." So, that's what I did for my first one, and I don't think that's, like, a bad path to go down when you are a first-time investor and, like, you are scared, because it is scary. Your first one is, like, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking as well, but as long as you do the right financials and you work with a good team, I think the team is so important to have in place, whether it's the realtor and the lender, then that really helps. So now it's an Airbnb. What difference did you see when having that property as a long-term rental versus Airbnb in profits, in tenancy, in management? Tell me about the differences.
In the Denver property? Or yeah. So, gosh, the money you can make via a long-term rental versus a short-term rental is like night and day. A lot of people will say like, "Oh, I just don't wanna manage it. It just sounds like a nightmare." But honestly, like if you have the right team behind you, I self-manage my properties actually, and
Airbnbs?
I self-manage them, yeah, and I don't know, maybe that's like, I need to let go of a little bit of control, but, like, I if I can make 20%, 25, 30% more on my home, like, I'd rather do that. My cleaning staff, they act as my property managers. I've had to kind of train them, to let me know if things are broken, things need attention. They, check the inventory. I just, like, Instacart things to the house, or they'll pick it up for me. I mean, I've just found that it's not as hard as people think, and the juice is worth the squeeze again because the money you make with a short-term rental, I'd say it's like 3 depends on, like, the market, the bedroom count, all that, but, like, I'd say it's like 3 to 4 times higher than a long term.
So that's amazing. Tell me how you do that and have a W-2 job because a lot of people don't get into short-term rentals because they're like, I work full time and I have to manage it. So how do you balance both?
Uh, I think gosh, dot, dot, dot. Yeah, it can be like my job, I actually work in, employee benefits, so most of the business, like renews and is sold on January 1st. So like there's a peak season, which a fourth quarter for us, and it starts around like July through October in my world. And long story short, is like every I can just plan my year in advance. Like it's very slow and very relaxed from end of October through July. So
When busy season is and how much staff you need to have on site there. And then the connections, right? You since you lived in Denver, you had those connections with the staff beforehand, like you met them.
yes.
What about Arizona?
Um, yeah, I had gone out and met my team in person after I hired them, actually, because I purchased that place sight unseen and needed like all hands on deck like right away.
Really?
Yeah, I actually purchased two properties sight unseen, and again, like if you just take your emotions out of it and like look at the numbers, it's
Yeah,
not a bad way to go about it because a deal is a deal. And like you, if
right.
other people are interested in that deal too, like you need to be willing and ready to move fast.
So you purchased one in 2020 and then that was the Denver, which the Arizona one was that
That was a year after.
2021. And then did
Uh-huh.
you move into another property or is this when you moved into the hotel?
Then I purchased a short-term rental in Dallas. This
Okay.
was like a house hack situation, which was like
Okay.
very crazy. I lived like a psychopath at the time. So, like, I this, place did not have a separate entrance. I didn't have, like, an ADU that I could live in. I just, like, whole, uh let me back. I rented out the whole house and kept my calendar open for bookings, and I needed at least 6 nights booked per month in order for the whole mortgage to be
Oh.
paid. So, like, when the house would get booked, I would deep clean it, make it look like my existence was never present, and then go find, like, somewhere else to stay nearby. So I'd, like, crash on couches. I would go drive, like, 5 hours to stay at my, aunt, uncle's house down in hill country. I would go book, like, other Airbnbs or hotels that had, like, an $80 per night booking because I wanted to maximize my cash flow. I would not
Right.
suggest doing this. This was very stressful, and I don't know what I was thinking at the time. But again, I like was making money on my real estate, and again, I only really needed to sacrifice 6 nights of the month in
Yeah.
order for my mortgage to be paid completely off.
It's like taking a little trip almost. Why did you decide to stay? Did you like the property and you wanted to live there, or you bought it under you have to live there for a year?
Uh, but well, so that, the live there
Yeah.
for a year, like capital gains type of,
Yes,
thought
yes.
process. But then also my W-2 had moved me to, Texas. And
Oh,
yeah,
you're very
I was
smart.
very much in the mindset then of like climbing this corporate ladder, which
Yeah.
today I'm like very much the opposite. Now I'm like do everything possible to live off the cash flow, to leave my W-2 job and just live life
Yeah.
fully on my terms.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that goes towards the path of when you do have a family, if that's what you want to do, like you can live life on your terms. You can be with your kids as much as you want to. I mean, depending on you. So then when did that mindset turn, let me just buy a hotel, right? Like when did that shift?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I have a friend who is a general partner
Okay.
and or he raises capital for these hotel deals and he reached out to me because he saw what I was doing in the real estate world and asked if I would want to invest.
For those of you who don't know, when it comes to hotel investing, a general partner is much more involved in the actual operations of the hotel, finding the deal, property management, anything that has to do with the operations. And then they're also a partner in it, while a limited partner really puts in the capital, which is the money to funding this hotel, and then they see just the return. So a limited partner is very hands off, while a general partner is much more involved in the whole operations and process of purchasing the property.
Yep, yeah, exactly right. So, they came to me as general partners, and I came to the deal as a limited partner,
Okay.
and, it made sense to me. So, they had purchased the land for 1.2 million, back
Okay.
in 2018. So, just, like, the land value alone, gives us, like, an 18 to 20% equity lift, and then building the proper it's a new build Holiday Inn Express in Redmond, Oregon. So, there were, like, a lot of comps in the area, and just looked amazing. They're doing a lot of development in that area. There's a huge hotel or, airport expansion deal going in, and
Wow, that's amazing. Next to an airport, fully booked all the time.
we got a partnership with the airport as well. So they bought a room block, which means
What?
that occupancy can be above 100%. We get paid out regardless of if those rooms are booked or not.
Amazing. That's an amazing deal.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty exciting. Like, it's still in the process of being built. We have not
Okay.
gone live yet. It will be ready probably in like July or August of this year. But the construction costs are 18.5 million. And once the project is done, it's estimated to be valued at 27 to 28 million.
Amazing. And what are you getting in the deal? Are you getting equity? What was your your payout basically as a partner?
Yeah, yeah. So after the construction is done, we go live. We're gonna do a cash out refi,
Nice.
and the cash out refi will pay out investors, and then we'll also get paid out monthly cash flow.
Nice. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You get appreciation, you get
Mm.
equity, and then you get cash flow from that one deal
Yes, and there's bonus depreciation.
for
Investors
taxes.
in our world know that it's now 100%. It had dropped down to 40% at the start of last year. So the fact that it's back to 100% is amazing. And with commercial, I'm sure like you accelerate the depreciation
Yep.
that would typically be spread out over like a 39-year cycle into like that first year. So it's huge, 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 huge.
And how did you learn about hotel investing? Was it that friend that taught you, or how did you learn about? Yeah, he did. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he taught me a lot, and then I joined a mastermind community
Okay.
with Rich Summers.
Yeah.
He is big into like the boutique hotel game. I listened to a ton of podcasts on this, read books, and they started bringing me on the same investors of the Holiday Inn Express. They started they wanted to bring me on as a general partner to help them raise equity for other deals. So, we don't currently
Nice.
have any at the moment. We actually just closed out the ones we had, but I will keep you posted on, future opportunities for
So you
sure.
already closed out your next project?
Yeah.
Like the funding?
Yeah, there
Congratulations! Pick a portion of the whole game, so that's amazing.
yeah, it's a lot of work, though. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, for sure. But learning how to raise capital is, like, such an important skill in this game. Like, it's such a crucial thing to figure out how to do.
Tell me about then that second hotel. Is that another Hilton? Is that branded boutique? Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was, a Marriott
Okay.
in Legacy West, so, like, Plano, Texas. Uh, my Airbnb is in Dallas. I'm very familiar with that
Oh.
DFW market, and it's gonna crush. Like, they're putting in, Universal Studios Kids, uh,
Really?
right down the street from that hotel, and then this year, the World Cup is gonna be in town, and just for me alone, like, I have a 3-bed Airbnb in Dallas, and the nightly rates are averaging, like, 2,500 a night in, like, June. It's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. That's amazing. Oh, yeah. Now, Dallas, I'm seeing so many deals in Dallas right now. And I'm a Florida nomad, so I'm scared to diversify to Dallas. But this is not the first time I hear about that market. I definitely need to start investing into that market because I'm seeing a lot of hotel and hospitality deals available there currently, because as you know, since I'm looking into my first deal, I'm just looking through deals, analyzing the numbers until I can finally get in. So speaking of that, what gave you the courage to get into this large commercial from, residential?
It's kind of funny. I look at short-term rentals as like the training wheels to getting into the commercial space. So
Yeah.
after doing several short-term rental deals, I was like, all right, it's time to level up and do what the big dogs are doing.
That's my mentality right now. But it's gonna be my first time, so you still get nervous. So how like what advice would you give to someone like myself just now trying to get into that space? Like looking for hotels and like pulling the trigger to be able to get into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the numbers, right? Like you just got to know what you're doing when you're analyzing the deal. And it sounds like you have a good team of people behind you with your mentorship program who can really like walk you through the process. But I mean, if you have the capital and you're comfortable raising capital and the numbers are strong, like don't be scared. Stop with the analysis paralysis. Like it is so easy to be stuck in self-doubt and fear and limiting beliefs. So just do it. Rip the band-aid and do it.
I love it. I love it. So, since you're managing so much, you have a W-2 job, you have hotels, Airbnbs, how do you stay organized? Like,
Good question.
how do you organize your day?
2025 was like the most chaotic year of my life. And I will say I was doing way too much. I had way too much on my plate. And I was working so hard that it was like I was like killing myself. So 2026 is my year no, my year of slow and my year of flow. I'm like being very intentional now, like where I'm putting my time. I'm being very intentionally organized, and being intentional with my energy. Like I don't have the bandwidth to say yes to every opportunity when last year I wanted to, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's smart too. I love that. No, slow, flow. It's like your year of stabilization, and that's so important. I was actually listening to a podcast. You know, Sujay and Britt, they're also in the hotel investing. So he
Yeah.
just opened a podcast with her, and that's one of the things that she said. That was because she's also really into the hotel space, and she said it's very important to know when to say no to opportunities. You can't say yes to everything. Right now, I'm in the period that I'm like, yes, if it's good and if the numbers make sense. Yes, yes, yes. But then once you have it, you need to just stabilize. And then once stabilized, because we love chaos as entrepreneurs as well, we'll go into the next deal.
Yeah, I know. I know. I just finished my last deal in December and I've had like a full month now of the slow flow and no, and I'm like already itching for the next.
The
But
month didn't end, babe. Like, it's not the end of January.
I know. It's just hard. It's how we're wired. I don't know. It's kind of
Enjoy
crazy.
your wedding weekend, enjoy your time, and then plan. I guess plan. Just stay planning.
Yeah, well, like last year I really focused on my own investments and like
Good.
learning as much as I could about, the commercial hospitality side of things. But this year I want to start really helping other people get into the game.
I love that.
So spread the fruits of my labor and get other people educated and like on the fast track to financial freedom. So I'm an investor friendly real estate agent now, and I just want to help other people find cash flowing deals like the ones that I have found for myself.
Amazing. So that's your next project, just focusing on your business as an investor agent mainly.
Yes. Hmm.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. I love being an investor agent because you like to see how you can help other people make money too. That's the most important thing. You got to multiply what you've learned. So I love that so much. So, are you interested in boutique or brand, or do you only like branded, and what's the difference between each?
Um, I I am interested in both.
Okay.
With these like branded hotels, It's just you follow a path, a guideline, and like that is it. You kind of stick to the basics. There's already a mold, and it's like kind of given to you. Um, with the boutique hotel side, you have more creative, like you can make more creative decisions with like
Okay.
design and how it's managed, and I like that side of it. I think if you stay in a boutique hotel, like the rooms look way cooler than,
Yeah.
like a Holiday Inn Express where it's just kind of like the same
I
everywhere.
feel like it's safer though. I feel like Holiday Inn would be well, especially in the location that you have it close to an airport, so that also matters. But it is safer. But you are right. My husband actually provides like electronic equipment to branded hotels, and he does boutique too. But I know that the branded they need to have like a certain TV, and then if those TVs get recalled, it's like all of the TVs need to get recalled. And it's all very specific. Like it has, you're right, it has a mold. So that's very important to note for investors who want to do boutique versus branded hotels as well. So tell me a little bit about like how it has been, being a woman in the space. Like, has it been any different for you than you feel like I guess a man partner would be within the investing or hotel space in general?
Oh, yeah, it's I think in the beginning, people don't take you as seriously.
Yeah, especially contractors.
Yeah, yeah. Like you always sometimes like this is a man's world, and as a woman you
Yes.
have to be very aware of like what people's intentions may be.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so like the person that wanted to teach me everything about wholesaling and flipping started kind of getting creepy. And
That
then
happens.
yeah, and then it's like, well, okay, like did you want to mentor me or teach me because you had ulterior motives? And that's what stinks sometimes because there are ulterior motives sometimes.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's happened to me too. There are moments in which, there is someone who wants to mentor me or teach me, and you're scared and you're like, what are these like? Do they have ulterior motives? Like I go to like Facebook and looked up their whole family, like to make sure, like, because you have to do that to protect yourself. It's an unfortunate situation of being a woman, but there have been guys who have taken me out for a business proposal and it's strictly business, right? In my end. And then they're here talking something else that's not business. Stand your ground always. Like stand your ground. That's what it is. Because those situations, even if you don't have strong intuition, they'll happen. And even if you do and you swear everything is great, they'll still happen. So you need to just, stand up for yourself and be like, this is not what I'm looking for. And if you want to move forward in this way that's not professional, I prefer not to work with you anymore. And that's it. You have to, don't be scared to say that. Don't be scared even if it's a great opportunity, like you have to respect your boundaries and they have to respect your boundaries. And if they don't, then goodbye. And that you have to be okay with that because there
Yeah,
will be other people. This is another reason why I'm like so into getting and talking to other women in the space because I feel like you feel safer in that way and talking about these situations. You can't really talk about these situations on the man. So that's something I think that is important. To talk about and to just encourage women to stand their ground. You're there on business and stand on your business. And if it's not business like, walk away. That's it. You
right.
walk away. So
Yeah.
I actually love that you brought that up because not a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah, and it's tough because it's harder to find women in this space that, you can learn and grow from and grow with. So I'm so, just honored to be a part of this, and I love what you're doing, bringing women together, but I just naturally in the past I've like learned from majority of men, right? So
Yeah, me
that's
too. All of my
mhm,
coaches, I'm not gonna dog them completely because most of my coaches and if all of them were men because it's a very male like centered space. A lot of men take more risks than a lot of women. And I think that's why there's a lot more males in this field. Which is great, but it's just again, because they are professional about it, they actually wanna teach you, and they're turning you to be badasses compared to, having ulterior motives. Because I agree, all of my mentors have been men. To find a female mentor would be like it's been very hard to do that. But, we're growing, we're evolving, we're here, and we're sharing more knowledge. So we'll be able to help each other and grow in the future. And again, both men, both women, as long as you have great synergy, great partnerships as well, are aligned in
Yeah,
the same goals, it doesn't really matter.
that's right. Ain't that the truth?
Keep it professional. That's it. Let's make some money together. And that's what matters at the end of the day. So I love that.
Bring home that bacon.
So, what lessons out of everything that you've learned, what are the biggest lessons and key takeaways from your journey that you would tell your younger self?
Uh, just don't let fear cripple you. Like it is always so scary. But again, like trusting yourself, trusting the numbers, and trusting that there is always an exit plan. There is a path to pivot. Like just go, just get started. More lessons that I've learned just like on my own deals is if you are doing a commercial deal like a hotel or you are buying something that is managed by somebody else, like you really have to learn the people, like understand the humans who are running the show behind the scenes. Uh, you know, for me, I have like nightmare HOA stories. Before I purchased my condo in Arizona, um, I did not properly review the reserves and I did not properly review, the board, the members on the board. And after I purchased, I found out that we essentially were broke. There were multiple lawsuits because they were stealing money from the people who owned within the complex. And then we were hit with a $10,000 special assessment because we had no money to pay for a roof. And this building to this day has so many issues. And it's just a matter of time before we have to pay another chunk of change for something else. And it's just been a nightmare. And that's something I've learned. I was just such an eager beaver. And that was like my
Yeah.
first real like STR investment. I just didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't have um, an agent at the time that I feel like really had my back and my best interest. Um,
Is that
so
why you got your license?
I I had another deal. I was under contract on a property in Austin, Texas, and it was another one I put an offer in on sight unseen. And I trusted him because he did a video walkthrough for me, and he's like, "This is great." And I was just like, "All right, well, let's go." The numbers are spectacular, and I wanted to close quick because F1 was happening in October. There was Austin City Limits in October. And I was like, let's just close quick and get this deal to the finish line. So I went there for inspection. And this house, I kid you not, had the worst structural issues I had ever seen. Like so bad that if you push the wall, the door frame to the backyard, it would come off of the wall.
He didn't order an inspection?
No, I ordered the inspection. I came down for inspection day
And
and met
that's what
with
you
an
saw.
inspector, but he basically, like, made it out to sound like the house was in great condition. Um, he just wanted to
Oh,
get the deal
no.
done, and
Right.
after that situation, I was, like, so fed up that I was like, "I'm just gonna get my license and manage my own deals, and then help support other people finding their deals and, like, not I don't know, like, just be transparent up
Yeah,
front."
it's not that hard to be honest. Like you can because if you have one bad deal with a client, they're not gonna use you again. Like if you're
Exactly.
not honest, they're not gonna use you again. You're gonna lose business.
I know, and that was just time, money, energy wasted. I was, like, very frustrated by that whole
Yeah, because
situation.
inspections aren't cheap, and then you had to put money down in escrow, but I think you get that back usually because
Yeah,
it
I
was
got
after
that
inspection.
back, which was good, but, yeah, that was, like, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Are
But
you licensed then in Texas or Colorado?
in both, but I
Oh,
am
nice.
primarily focused on Colorado since I'm in Colorado, but I
Okay.
do have, like, great referral partners, in other states. So if people
Okay.
want to bring me their deals and want to, like, go through the numbers, I'm always happy to analyze. whether or not like it's a good investment to move forward with, and then refer them over to an investor friendly agent in their market.
Okay, amazing. And where can people learn a little bit more about you and reach out to you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram. My name on Instagram is House Hack Honey,
I love it.
and you can just DM me there. I think that's probably the easiest way to get in touch. I always check my messages, so just reach
Okay.
out. Don't be a stranger.
And what are books that you recommend? You, especially when it comes into hotel investing. Actually, wait, one more thing, because I did want to ask this personally as well. So when you invested into the hotel as a GP, did you put any of your own capital, or you were like the one raising capital?
I was the one raising capital at that time. I was broke as a joke after I invested in the Holiday Inn Express and then my Airbnb that is in uh,
I love it.
Denver. So I after that project, I was like, I can't. I can't.
So you invested in a hotel with no money. Amazing.
Well, I put all my money into the hotel and then invested into a house with basically no money, which is why I was like, let's get creative with financing. And I did the 401k loan. I leveraged 0% interest credit cards. And yeah,
Oh,
that deal was so good. It was my first like fixer upper.
okay.
And the Airbnb method, if people aren't familiar, it's like buying a house that you buy, you rehab, you rent on Airbnb, you refinance, and then you repeat.
Love it.
So this house, already it like before renovations, it appraised $100,000 over, and then now after
So it
renovation,
already came with equity
it came
in
with
the deal?
equity. I was so thrilled. And then
What?
now, like looking at the comps and whatnot, it's like $300,000 over, and the property cash flows like crazy. And I was able to get it posted and live on Airbnb before year end, materially participate and take advantage of bonus depreciation. So, like, massive tax savings there. So yes, after the cash out refi, if the cash flow from the property itself doesn't pay off the credit card debt used for the renovations, then I'm going to use that money to acquire my next deal, whether that's a Airbnb or another hotel. It's just a matter of time. So if you have deals, bring them my way. Maybe I'll invest.
I love it. Yes, that cash out refi is gonna be beautiful. I'm so excited for you for that deal. Okay, great. That's good to know. Cause right now I'm like saving up to put capital in a deal, but at the same time I'm like, how can I get into a deal without capital? And that's a great way, either raising capital for others. I know
Mhm.
sourcing the deal, you can also get into the deal yourself. If you find a really good deal, you can also become a GP if you want equity in the deal. So that's another method of getting in. But that's amazing, Nicole. Okay, now what book do you recommend?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I have some like woo woo books that I like really like
Okay.
just about like mindset. But one that I think is really good if you want to let go of limiting beliefs is the surrender experiment
Okay.
and the untethered soul. Those two are written by the same author, Michael Singer. And it just really helps you just like let go of the fear that's tied to so many things, let go of ego and like really learn how to trust your instincts, learn how to
It
trust your
was
intuition.
the surrender experiment, and which one was the other one?
The untethered soul.
The untethered soul. Love that. I'm gonna add that to my library now.
And
Cause that's
it's like I
good.
want to say rich dad, poor dad, but I'm like every investor says that. So I'm not going to
Reinvestor. That's a great like starting book. And I like these because these are not just very analytical, but it's also very much on mindset. And you have a great mindset. I also started my investing journey in 2020, and I am nowhere near where you are, but I will be now because you're my friend now. So,
You are
and
crushing it, girl. You're doing all the
they.
right things. I'm inspired by you. So, you
I
know.
love that. This is what I'm saying. Like, we need more friends like each other. And last thing, what is your morning routine before you let us go?
Well, I need my coffee first because I cannot
Right?
operate without my coffee. But, I think it's the early bird gets the worm. I genuinely feel like When you wake up early, you actually feel peace. You can like just feel the quiet calm of the day. And it's like good to just wake up easy. And I think it's good to just not look at your phone first thing, get out of bed, put your feet on the ground and like do your thing without your phone attached to you. I've noticed I've done this experiment of like when I wake up and go straight to my phone, versus, like, the days I, just wake up and go do my thing without my phone, I feel so much better and so much happier.
Okay. No, that's really good. That's great advice. Because sometimes, even me myself, I wake up and I'm like straight on my phone, and that's not healthy. It's good to be like grounded and in the moment when you wake up. And the mornings are so like, they're so nice. They're so quiet. I love my slow mornings. Like, I like to
Yes.
take my time, make my breakfast, then go to the gym, all of that fun stuff. Um,
Yes, and then set your intentions for the day, like, I live by my to-do list, so I don't know, I get my little, like, dopamine hit when I can check things off my list, so
Me too.
I have my list and I go through it, and I think tackling, the hardest things first earlier in the morning is always the best when you're a little bit more fresh and in that creative mindset.
That's a good idea. Yeah, always tackle the hard phone calls or the hardest things first. That's a great idea. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Nicole. I had an amazing conversation with you. I know that everyone's going to just love this episode. You have so much knowledge to give, so I appreciate you for being here.
Thanks so much, I appreciate you.